I got a fever, and the only prescription is more podcast.
Why aren't we talking to people? Let them know. Get it out. Shout the rooftops. This is the bee's knees.
Misinformed.
Octagon.
Update.
Shut up and sit down.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and we're back with another episode for you
This
guys.
is episode number 2, and we got a lot of events. and a lot of
Octagon
stuff to cover.
update, highly misinformed.
Hashtag it. All right. So I guess we're gonna go over Bellator first. This was Bellator 245 and 246, and that happened on Friday and Saturday, September 11th and 12th.
Anything notable about Bellator? I think the card in general was kind of boring, to be honest.
Still enjoyed it. I think Bellator did a good job, but Bellator 245 had 2 Penn State guys.
Ooh, they did.
One,
You're a big
Ruth
Penn State
and
fan,
one
aren't you?
Davis. Well, I mean,
You're a big Penn State fan, aren't you?
yes, I am. I'm a big Penn State fan. Supporter of the movement.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, Ruth got submitted with an ankle lock, and that's no bueno. Not happy about that. Ruth's a tough guy, but that's what happens sometimes. That's the way
Well,
it goes.
I guess that guy, that was his debut for Bellator, and he said he came from a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu leg lock gym. So those kind of gyms are tough. That's all they train is leg locks.
Leg lock is what they do.
Yes, they're professionals at leg locks, so you can't mess around with that shit. You got to get out of it right away, and he didn't. And the other guy capitalized. I don't know really what his name was. He's a newcomer.
Taylor, can't remember his last name.
Doesn't really matter at this time.
Very forgettable. Very forgettable. Ruth will move on, and he will be sure to win his next one.
We hope.
Kat Zingana and Gabby Alloway also had a bout, and Kat walked away with a win there. It was a dominant win. Nothing too crazy happened in that one, but still it was a dominant win. And in the prelims, there was a bout that ended via nut shot.
Ooh.
So-
Ooh, I did see that. So that was the first I've ever seen a bout lose
Tyrell
via
Fortune and Jack May.
TKO via nut shot. So what is that, like a no contest? So does the other guy win, or is it just like a draw basically?
It was a no contest because they didn't make it into the third round. That's Bellator's rules.
Oh,
If it was in the third round, then the judges would decide. But since it was only in the second, and Jack May was not able to continue, and it was a
Right.
pretty good one.
Huh.
So poor guy, hang in there, buddy.
That's hilarious though. So he got hit in the nuts blatantly, and then
He didn't mean to. It was definitely accidental.
yeah, obviously. I mean, I didn't mean blatantly like the guy meant it. Like I meant blatantly like it directly hit him in the ball sack.
It was a direct shot.
So that happened, and then
The knee.
the ref gave him like a ridiculous amount of time. Like in the UFC, it's always like they shrug it off. So I don't know if it was more did a cup issue in Bellator or what. Like, are they using plastic cups? Maybe they should move to steel.
I don't think there's a standard cup to be used in Bellator. I don't think there even is one in UFC, right?
No, but
No.
people do use steel cups sometimes.
In other organizations, yes.
But can you use it in the UFC?
Not in the UFC.
You're not allowed using steel cups.
No.
Oh shit! So yeah, the kicks are what does it for you. And then in the main event, there was another stoppage via nut shot. You see that?
Which what Bellator Davis and Machida?
The main card, there was another guy. I think it was the very first fight. He got kicked in the nuts, side kick to the nuts, stopped it. Then he did a spinning back heel hit to the nuts again, and then they just called it.
Yikes.
So that was 2 in a row for Bellator.
That's not good.
That stopped via nuts, and I never saw that in my life once, let alone twice.
They got to figure
crazy.
that one out.
I don't know if that guy like split his cup or what. Maybe their Johnson's too big for the cups. You know, get a larger size.
Who knows? You should look more into that. But
I'm good. I'm not going to Google search that.
the main event with Davis and the Dragon Machida. What do you guys think about that one?
Well, I think the Machida is kind of, you know,
Kind of history repeating itself.
he's kind of old.
He still had it though. You could see him with his hip fades, and
Yeah,
he knew how to
true.
dance out there. Still,
He did. He was
but,
dancing.
But yeah, I agree. He is getting old. Davis looks great.
Split decision. Do you think it should have been split? Or do you think he just should have won outright?
Yeah, I think what really happened there was they exchanged, and Davis always had the last exchange, and the judges saw that. So it was a fight where Davis did exactly what he needed to do to win. And that's pretty much what happened there. He didn't really. I thought he was going to use more wrestling, but he didn't have to. He just made sure he won each exchange and then left it up to the judges to decide. Which is the right decision.
Davis was already a light heavyweight champion in Bellator, so he had that championship mentality.
Goddamn UFC, ESPN. Highlights of the Michelle Waterson fight. So let's just get right into it, guys. What did you think of the main event? ESPN Fight Night.
I think that was a fun fight to watch.
Super
I enjoyed
exciting.
that. Hottie Karate and Angela Hill went at it. And Angela Hill came, she wasn't playing around.
She came prepared, man.
Yeah,
She came
hats
right
off to
at
her.
her. Did you think anyone got robbed?
I don't think so.
Did you think the right person won?
I'm biased, though.
What do you think, couple?
I mean, I thought Michelle had taken more damage, but I think she did enough to win the fight in the end, and I think it's what a lot of people thought. The significant strikes were definitely not correctly counted by the judges, though. Based on the count that we saw directly after the fight, and then later on after the post-fight, they did not correlate, and they were not similar at all.
Yeah,
Especially the last round.
I noticed that as well. The strikes, they kept changing. It's like, how didn't you know? How didn't you count the strikes correctly? And I don't think the judges go off the strikes. They just watch per round, and they judge each round. Whoever they thought won. It's like kind of like boxing.
Point-based.
Yeah,
It was-
point-based, exactly.
It's pretty even going down the line, though. I had Hill winning the first and second round, and then I had Waterson pretty much after the takedown taking the rest of the bout.
Yeah,
Barely, though. Barely.
I also had I had it 2-2 going into the fifth, and then the fifth. Honestly, it was a draw. I don't know who won that one. I guess Waterson, but then Angela Hill at the end gave her two nasty elbows to the face.
Yeah, it was a really good
So
fight. Watterson pulled out a lot
I don't know.
of stops at the end. She
I don't
had
know who won.
Heart in her kicks, heart in her
I guess
punching.
Michelle, I think, won. Hill didn't get robbed, but I could see if people think Hill won too. You
They
know what I
probably
mean?
should have just let it split.
They should have. Honestly, they should just fight another round. You know,
They're going
fight
to.
to the death.
They have another fight for sure. They should, anyways. It's a great fight.
I don't think they're going to run it back because
No.
because
don't think?
Waterson's going to go up in the rankings, and I don't think Hill should drop in the rankings. I think they should give her another top 15 person. I think isn't Hill? What was she 9?
Hill was
Ranked
13th.
13th. So she should get someone above her because Waterson was ranked top 10.
Waterson was 8.
Yeah. See, there you go. So she should have lost it. She should have lost that fight.
The thing with Waterson is that she has these beautiful kicks, these beautiful striking, but she doesn't have a lot of power behind it, so the damage isn't there. Just like Hill
Exactly.
had way more damage, I thought.
The damage was definitely a factor, and in the judges' eyes, they can't really see the damage. They just see Waterson kicking her in the face, and they're like, "Ooh, that meant something." But even in the post-fight interview, Hill's like, "Yeah, the judges see me getting kicked in the face, and it looks bad, but really, I didn't even take much damage at all." So, but she faded a little bit in the 4th and 5th, I will say, Hill did, but that was her very first fight.
I don't think it was so
That
much
was her very first
that she
5-round
was
fight.
fading. I wouldn't say so much that she was fading as much as Waterson was rising up to the challenge. I think she was. I didn't see much difference in the point where she was backing up. I thought she was kept controlling, but Waterson was in and out a little bit more.
Hill
Her tempo
definitely.
was up.
I think Hill slowed down in the 4th and the 5th round significantly. Like the very first 2 rounds, Hill was pushing forward, pushing the pace, and just picking her apart on the feet. And then in the 4th and the 5th round, she, wasn't moving forward as much, and she was just doing ones and twos. She wasn't doing as much combinations.
Okay, I could see that. Who do you think Waterson should fight next?
The division's kind of stagnant right now.
Some people I was thinking was, well, Rose is too high up in the rankings for her to get, but that would be a fight that I'd like to see. I guess
Yeah.
Carla Esparza makes sense. She's ranked 7th.
Okay.
We could even go to Joanna Jurjacek.
Young Jacek.
Jurjacek.
Young Jacek.
Let's just,
It doesn't look like it, but
yes,
Yes.
I agree that
Yeah.
you said it better than me, that's for sure. But either way, Michelle Waterson will bring
She
the
already
numbers.
fought. She already fought her.
Okay.
I mean, she fought her and lost. They already fought before.
How bad was? I don't remember that one. How bad was it?
Didn't she fight her already?
She fought Rose.
Oh, she fought Rose.
and got
Did she?
destroyed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because Paige and her both fought Rose
Wow.
whenever Rose was on her streak.
On her run.
So we
Yeah.
gotta see Rose and Weili Zhang.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be a
Yeah.
great fight.
Excellent pick.
I like Weili.
Who is
She's-
Weili Zhang going to fight next, I wonder?
She'll probably.
She's
win
training
whoever
right
she
now.
fights.
She's a great
She
fighter.
didn't draw, or did
Shout out
you
China.
No, who did you beat? Oh yeah, Ioana.
I always see these videos where Weili is training with Chinese men and whooping their asses.
Whipping
Yeah.
their brakes off. She is a fucking brute. I will say
Yeah.
that.
And she's amazing.
So, who was the co-main event? Even though they were supposed to be the co-main event?
Otman Azatayir.
Oh, yeah. Do you think
Think
that
I
was
said it right?
Yeah, so Otman Adazir came out just slugging it and TKO'd him pretty quick.
I think he had a good reaction to, was it Kama Worthy's punches?
Yeah, comma worthy.
Comma.
I think
Comma.
in his post-fight interview, he wanted to work on his counter strikes, and unfortunately for him, but fortunately as well, he didn't have too much time to work on that in this fight. His counter strikes were absolutely perfect, and it's like he dropped bombs, precision strikes. So
Right. So, do you think that was an early stoppage?
negative. No, it was exciting, and I actually won a little bit of money off that, so I will support the stoppage.
So we were looking him up because we're like, what flag is that? Because we looked him up. He's actually German. Did you know
Yep.
that? He's German, but his flag is Moroccan. So he's a Moroccan German. Yeah,
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Wonder how that happened.
His parents moved to Germany from Morocco.
Very interesting. Should have a German flag. He was also a performance winner, so it's an extra 50K, just like Michelle Watterson when she defeated Angela Hill. And then
No, they both got. Watterson and Hill both got.
for Fight of
50
the Night, yes.
For Fight of the Night, correct.
As well as Kevin Kroom, which we'll talk about later. But I think before we get to there, we should talk about Ed Herman. And,
Let's talk about more nut punches, folks.
Or was it? Or was it? That's the question.
Yeah,
Well-
or was it?
Whatever happened to? Remember we said last week they were gonna install instant replays. Well,
Yeah.
So apparently the rule is you can only look at the instant replay during a fight-ending sequence. So
Okay.
Dana White is now like, no, that needs to stop because that shit shouldn't go on. You know?
Yeah. So the
What
ref
happened?
should have just, instead of sitting there, ask him how he's doing, ask him feeling, make sure, the fighter's okay. There should be the judges looking at the instant replay saying, hey, wait a minute, that wasn't a nut shot. That was a shot to the liver.
Well, Ed Herman, so what happened was, let's break it down. Ed Herman was backing away from him. He was at the fence.
He was surviving.
And then he got hit with a knee to the liver, and then he clenched up and then went down and was getting bombarded with punches left and right. He would have been TKO'd, but the ref said he was clenching up, so the ref thought it was a nut punch.
Yep.
So they backed him away, gave him time to recover, like a ridiculous amount of time to recover.
Like 5 minutes.
We looked at the replay and clearly saw it was not a nut punch or
Everyone
nut
saw it
hit.
right away. It was unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate. And then
That's a veteran move.
the turn of events, he gets him on the ground, gets him against the cage, and puts a good old Kimura on.
He was getting him beat up and about to get TKO'd again from the elbows to the side of the
Oh,
head.
yeah.
And then he ended up crumbling, which again, I almost would have called it as the ref. And then just pulls out an old Kimura. And he does a good job of it too, right at the end. So that's pretty impressive. Thank you, Herman.
That was
Thank
a good performance by Herman to stick it out.
Said he was
And
out of shape after the fight.
That was a very great Academy Award performance by Herman, acting like he got hit in the nuts.
He's 40, right? That's all he was?
He's turning 40 soon. Yes, correct.
Yes.
But yeah. So Dana White said that reffing was terrible, and he said this shit needs to stop, and he said we need to implement replays during the fight as well, because he's like, you can clearly see on the replay that he wasn't hitting the nuts, and then Rodriguez should have got the TKO. So he said, Dana White said that he was gonna pay both fighters. Like, he's acting like Rodriguez won that. So he's not going to drop down in the rankings because of it.
Rodriguez probably did win that a few times during that fight.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I like about the UFC. If you lose and you should have won, they're just going to keep giving you better fights.
They're just going to give you the cash.
Yep. And they're going to give you the cash.
So the fight before that was Roberts and Kroom. Roberts weighed in at 155.5, and Kroom weighed in at 154.5. Kroom, being the newcomer, he had a lot of excitement in this one, and I didn't think he was going to pull this out. I had no idea that Roberts was going to just give him his neck like that, and he ended up going through the sequence. I think it was a 1-2, and then dropped him. Was that what happened? And then he got it on his neck in a front, like a front choke.
Oh yeah, he was calling it a guillotine, but I don't think that's really a guillotine. Maybe it was, but he was modified guillotine. He just took his neck and just held on for dear life and just choked him for a long time.
In the post-fight interview, he said that he never drills the guillotine.
Yeah,
so.
He said his guillotine's terrible in the gym. He's like, I tapped maybe 1 or 2 guys out ever by that.
Goes to show, he probably wasn't even thinking. He just felt it and just went and squeezed for dear life.
He, 72 hours before that, didn't even know he was fighting. So he got the call, spur of the moment, and he wanted to make his name known.
And that's how you know.
And Dana White said, hey, people that take chances are the people that make money.
Boom. It's awesome.
That is awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, Roberts walked off.
He fights out of Anthony Smith's gym, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
He said, Anthony Smith said he's a great all-around guy, and he's just, one of those jokesters, always cracking jokes in the gym and shit.
Shout out to Anthony Smith. I thought he did a great job announcing. I thought him and Rashad Evans did
Sugar
an
Rashad.
amazing job. Sugar Rashad is awesome. And then you want to go in the one before that? Do you have anything else to say about that bout?
I have nothing else to say about that bout.
That is an ad for the United States military. Shout out to the United States military.
Shout out to the United States military. Big supporters.
This next bout I really enjoyed with Romanov versus Martinez. There was clearly a difference in size, but they weighed in around the same. Romanov made his debut, and he did an excellent job of it. Some big things out of this bout that I thought were awesome was the art of throwing. You should go back and just watch the highlights in this bout. Martinez went for a plane ride a few times, and it showed. He got some air.
That's crazy.
Big kick to the bodies. Martinez took it, and he had some good defense, but it was just really too much. Romanov is an extreme threat in the division.
Yeah, so Romanov is... how do you win?
By the front submission where you...
Oh. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's a great... Oh, the arm triangle.
Complete domination.
The
arm triangle.
Yeah.
It was complete domination the entire time, and then he had to figure something out to.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember this fight. These two fatties were fucking each other up.
Two fatties.
I'm just kidding. One fatty. Romanov is not a fatty.
Great, though. Shout out, he's great.
King Kong Romanov.
Martinez literally. He shouldn't have been. It's like you could tell the skill difference in that fight. You know what I mean? Like, Romanov had so much more skill.
So much better wrestling, but if it was a boxing match, Martinez probably would have taken that boxing match.
True.
So
Romanov took it to the ground and just laid on him, and then just kept fucking him up on the ground.
He's from Romania. At one point in time, he was 3 for 3. I'm sure 3 for 3 with takedowns. I'm sure he was perfect with his takedowns. It was fantastic to see. At least one, I remember it was a feet to back, beautiful throw.
Hell yeah.
So Romanov definitely dominated that bout.
Still undefeated.
So how about the catchweight fight before that? We had Jalen Turner versus Brock Weaver, the Indian, the American Indian.
I think we all knew that was going to be a good fight to watch. They're both there to scrap for sure.
Hell yeah.
I think it's important to note Jalen Turner loves his arachnids, and he even took one into weigh-ins, a tarantula at weigh-ins.
Did he really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
The tarantula's name, I'll have to look that one up for you guys.
Jalen Turner's 6'3", and he's fighting around anywhere from 155 to 165. So I think he should just bump up to 170, because he's a tall motherfucker for that weight class. 6'3"? Come on, man. That's pretty ridiculous.
Length kills.
Length,
sure.
length helps for sure.
Bobby Weaver figured that out.
So yeah, Turner just literally was destroying Brock on the feet, and then he hit him with the old 1-2, knocked him on his ass, turned his back, all disrespectful. Turned his back.
I think he thought he was out.
I think he thought he was done, and Herb's like, "What are you doing, man?
Not gonna call a fight. You gotta kill the man first.
What are you doing, man? Yeah, you gotta like kill him." He's like, "No, stand him up, stand him up." And then he got him to the ground again. Kept hitting him to the ground again, and then just choked him out. Finished the fight like a savage.
It was a savage fight.
That was a great fight.
It was fun to watch.
Any other notable fights you saw?
Oh, we had Bobby Green.
Oh,
Bobby Green.
We forgot about lean, mean Bobby Green, the badass.
Bobby Green. Who did he fight?
Bobby Green fought.
Brazilian.
Yep,
Alan Patrice.
Alan Patrick. And Alan Patrick was relentless with his pressure. If he could just, clinch a little better, I think he's right there. His pressure is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Bobby Green's just, man, he's a thug, man. He was just walking him down, like, with his arms out. He's like, come on, come on.
There's a lot of mental games being played.
Oh, yeah. So Bobby Green just destroyed him on the feet, and
then
he used his
slammed him.
wrestling.
Yep.
He's used his wrestling,
And he's a 2-time place winner, I believe, at the California
which
State
is
Championship.
very impressive.
Extremely.
Because there's no divisions. It's all straight. It's all open. Meaning there's no AAA, AA, single A. It's all just California. That's it. So to win that, did he win, or he just placed in the California?
No, he just placed. He did
So
not
he's
win.
still pretty good wrestler though.
No,
You could
damn
tell
good.
his wrestling was taken over.
Division I credentials for sure. Not quite all American.
I guess Bobby Green too had to cut like over 20 pounds, like just real quick, and he wasn't happy in his performance. You could tell like he was gassed maybe a little bit. He wasn't happy.
He fights with emotion, which is, I guess, what you want to see sometimes. And then in his post-interview, he got very emotional when he found out about the Iranian wrestler that got executed.
Oh yeah, he's like, let's not even talk about my fight. Let's talk about the guy from Iran who just got executed
So
for protesting. So let's get into that. What
Thanks
happened?
to Bobby. Bobby brought this up. From what I can see and from what I know, and now this, again, is about who you believe. Do you believe the Iranian government? Do you believe American media? Or really international media? But it sounds like the Iranian government found out, or at least took this Iranian wrestler into prison to be, his name is Navid Afari, to be tortured, and they got basically a confession from him through this torture that said that
Wow.
he killed a security guard.
Wow.
Now, there's no other evidence besides the evidence that they got from the torture, so that's concerning, definitely. Again, we're farther away than a third party on this, but it's pretty.
You shouldn't execute a guy over he said, she said, and especially if he's just protesting. Like, that should be your right, but I guess it's Iran, so in Iran you don't have any rights, you know?
Yeah, it's not a free country. Like
It's not a free country.
You wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now in Iran.
Hell no, you wouldn't. Hell no. People take it for granted. People take that shit for granted.
So again, Navid Afari, in our thoughts. But moving on, Quarantillo versus Nelson. Do you guys remember seeing that one? Nelson came out hitting hard, beautiful leg trip to a double
The
leg
king of the
attack.
quarantine, the Quarantillo. Quarantillo?
Yep.
Yeah. He went out there and just, it happened in the third round. I did not know that. I thought that was the very first round. So yeah, he starched him, dude. The
Nelson
guy
got hit in the nuts in this one again too.
Oh, wow.
He was one of those guys. He got hit and then he
wow.
stern faced it. He didn't act like he was in pain. He just like, I need a minute.
That's usually what happens in the UFC.
So he's definitely a killer, but he did not win this one. Stopped by TKO.
Yeah. Billy Cortino, he starched him, dude. Gave him the old 1-2, and it wasn't a technical knockout. It was done. The guy just didn't even want anything from him, you know? And that was it. And that was all she wrote.
You're not fighting anymore. That's gonna be it.
Yeah, he didn't want the smoke. He just curled up in a ball and took it, which I guess I can't blame the man. when you get knocked out like that.
In this next fight, we had two women coming out here ready to bang, Avila and Eubanks. I think this one started off with a punch, and was it Eubanks that lost her mouthpiece right away? Or
Oh, that was another fight.
that was another fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Either way, these girls were both banging. These girls
were
hard.
banging.
Controlling the fight was big on this one, and catching kicks and setting up was also huge.
A good old ranked bout versus it was it 12 versus 13 or 14 versus
They were
15?
ranked. Yep.
They were just right next to each other.
Eubanks is a BJJ world champion. Which
Oh, wow.
Didn't know going into that.
She said she trained BJJ for 15 years of her life.
It's a lot of time.
Wow. So she's like, yeah, I can control the ground with anyone. I'm not afraid to take it to the ground. But her striking's pretty good too. So she's a force to be reckoned with.
So what were total strikes? Is that 66 for Avila and 107 for Eubanks?
Correct.
Wow, a lot of control time there too. 10 minutes control time.
Yes. It was a great fight. They both came in prepared, that's for sure.
Two tough women.
Two tough girls. Two tough girls. So that was pretty much anything notable about the card.
Well, let's talk about Mazo and Kish. I enjoyed that first fight.
The very first fight.
It's important to remember that Sabina Mazo was the first Colombian woman to be fighting the UFC.
Damn, I didn't know that. Huh.
She came out. She did good. I actually didn't think that she was going to win the fight, but then she kicked and kicked and kicked, and the head kick was the big deciding factor. And then it was at the end when she kicked her in the head, dropped her, and instead of raining with punches, she went on top, went for the rear naked choke. So that's a veteran move too. You know, you're thinking ahead. Most guys would just keep punching, or most women could just keep punching, but she was there for the submission.
Oh, also notable, we forgot to mention this. Angela Hill is the very first African American woman to headline a card. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I did not know that. I did not know that was.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And she said she wanted to be the very first African American woman to win the belt. I think she can still win it. She just needs to go back to the drawing board a little bit. Maybe she should have took her down. You know, maybe she should have won for the takedown versus Waterson. Her takedown defense was crazy. You know.
Yeah, she did a good job defending those takedowns.
She did.
But I would also argue that Michelle Waterson needs to work on her takedowns,
Yeah, I agree.
because she had kind of a half sort of effort. She would get in there and not really run her feet as much as she should, not really have the angle cutting as much as she should.
She would grab a leg and then she wouldn't elevate the leg when she easily could have just pulled the leg up to her face and then she would have went down.
Yeah.
She had a leg and then she didn't know what to do with it. But Angela did a very good job. And then shout out to Michelle Waterson for getting her brown belt afterwards.
Yep.
That was cool. Very cool. Cool moment. You feel good for it too.
Yeah.
Looking good for her kid. You know, I don't know how difficult that is, but I'm sure it's extremely difficult.
Yep. Yeah. So that was pretty much the fight night breakdown. Anything
Bisping
notable?
announced. I think Bisping was a good job announcing. I think he did better than normal.
Yeah, he did great. He did great. He said he researched a lot. I watched his podcast. Pretty decent podcast. He said he was there since like Tuesday or something. So he was researching a lot on this fight. So he knew his shit.
Let's not forget about Barberina, Bam Bam versus Ivy. We did forget about.
Oh,
talk
hell
about that
yeah.
fight. Me personally, I've watched Barberina, and he is used to let me down. He's not really won while I've watched him, but he got the victory there last night. So it's
Yeah.
great to see.
Yeah, Barberina versus Ivy. That was a good fight. It was just a decision. So Nick, who did you bet on during the fights?
For the night.
Yeah.
Bobby Green was a definite for me.
You bet on Bobby Green. Okay.
And then my big bet of the night was Herman.
How much did you put on these guys?
Not much at all. Just a fun little bet.
Okay.
Just a fun
Penny
little
bet?
bet.
Oh, you put money
But
on
I
Ed
doubled
Herman?
up. I doubled up on Ed Herman.
Oh my God, you got
Oh,
so
wow.
lucky. That's literally
That was
luck.
clutch.
Veteran, man. He's a veteran. All he had to do was survive, and I knew that. All he
Oh
had to do
my
was survive,
God.
and he pulled it out.
You
somehow.
watched the tape. You should have got TKO'd so many times.
And I got lucky. I got lucky for
You did.
sure. And then Azatar, which he's a straight killer. I figured
Who?
he was gonna get the Moroccan guy. From
Oh yeah, yeah,
bet on
yeah,
him.
yeah. Oh, you bet on him too. Nice. Good bets. Good bets. You
Yeah.
went 3 for 3.
Yep.
So maybe we should do a betting segment later on for the next card.
I'd rather be lucky than good in betting. So
Hell yeah. So our sponsor today for this podcast today, guys, is Anchor. Anchor. It's a free app, and you can use it on your phone or your computer. You can distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple, and many more. It just takes one moment. It's a press and play kind of a thing. You can make money from your podcast right away. There's no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to go in one place. Download free at the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started, guys. That's anchor.fm to get started.
By Amazon. Amazon, a great place to get anything you need delivered right to your front door. And they've done a great job right now with the pandemic. The way that they've distributed PPE, the way they've stepped up and helped the country get exactly what they need when they need it. Amazon.
Yeah, you can get a free trial for 30 days. And if you're a student, you can get a free trial for 6 months. And then the rest of the year is half off if you're a student. So that's pretty cool. Amazon's stepping up their game. Link below if you're interested. Also, we're linked below all of our gear, so you can click on the affiliate links to get started on what we have been using to start your own podcast. Back to the show. So, MMA news, guys. What's happening in MMA?
What isn't happening in MMA? Let's start with my favorite sailor in the sea, Conor McGregor. Conor's been going around the world on
The
his
fucking
yacht.
dirty leprechaun.
He was recently in a photo shoot with his now wife. Was it D? D? Yep. That is, her full name is just D.
Doesn't he have 2 kids now?
Yes, he does.
He has 2 kids.
2 kids. Popping them out.
So going through his, I guess you could call it a rap sheet. He's had a phone incident where he threw someone's phone on the ground. He's punched an old man in the bar.
Not to mention throwing the dolly at a moving bus.
Yeah.
He's shattering the bus.
And injuring a UFC fighter.
Injuring multiple UFC fighters, I might add.
Khabib should have got out of that bus and beat him right there.
Should have beat his ass right there. Give him the old eagle knee to the face.
But he did have 20 of his posse members with him, so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The thugs. The
maybe-
thugs with him.
kept a cool head, probably best.
So, yeah, he needs to stop fighting out of retirement and step his game up and come back to the UFC and fight. And maybe he'd do a little better, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Hopefully we get those USADA tests back immediately. Make sure he's still clean. I'm sure he's not on the roids. It doesn't really look like he's on the roids.
He doesn't look like he's on the road. Just a hooch.
The
you know?
hooch maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they've been testing him for. But
So, what happened to him recently? He's in the news.
I guess he was on his yacht and he was taken in by authorities. I'm not sure what authorities that was, but it was about a sexual assault claim from, I think it was a Thursday night, and the authorities talked to him on Friday or Saturday.
So, what happened? What did he do? What's the accuser saying he did?
Indecent exposure is what I've been hearing.
So he whipped out his cock and started
So that's pretty much all I've
helicoptering it around.
heard about was.
But he was on his yacht, right? What can a man do on his own yacht?
Hopefully he was blackout drunk and didn't realize that
We
wasn't his
assume
wife.
he was blackout drunk. It's Conor McGregor.
Maybe he was coming out of the bathroom or something and he
addicted to
just forgot
alcohol.
to zip his pants up.
That could be too. Or maybe it's just
highly doubtful.
another thirsty woman looking for easy money.
That's true too.
Because
that's true.
That's in the
But also, my question is, where was his wife in all this? You know,
Probably watching the kids.
Yep, probably
Probably
with the
concerned
kids.
with the kids.
and what? There's just there's all these sluts on his yacht.
Who knows what Connor's doing, man? I'm
Yeah.
sure he has a
He
chopper
has
at this point,
all
right?
the money in the world.
Wasn't he alleged for sexual assault before too? In Ireland, I think it was. This is his second sexual assault case.
Probably, yeah.
I think he just paid that one off. I'm sure he's just going to pay this one off too. But this was in France. And isn't France supposed to be like known for their sexual
Provocative.
Yeah, sexual
Women.
promiscuous.
Promiscuous? Yeah,
I've
that's
never
the word.
been to France.
That's the word.
I'm not
Promiscuous,
sure.
yeah?
I don't know, but
I think they're like top up there for like just sleeping around.
when I
or just
think
being
of
sexually active.
think of someone going, I think of France.
Exactly.
That to me seems a little sexual assaulty. So
How was France not in there?
So the top 10 sexually active countries are Greece, Brazil, Russia, Poland, and India. So yeah, that's weird. And After that, it goes Mexico, Switzerland, and China, which I would not assume any of those countries.
Well, China,
Maybe Brazil.
definitely.
I would not assume Russia, and Greece. I would not assume Greece either.
How are we
it's
getting
a
these
weird-
numbers?
Yeah.
How are we pulling these?
How is
people?
that accurate?
Well, I mean, it goes by body count, the ejaculation count.
Well,
It's
China,
pretty easy.
definitely.
It's pretty easy to count that.
I feel at this point China's just cloning. I don't even know
Yeah.
if they have sex. I think they just kind of just do it in a lab and just.
Well,
Yeah.
China's just up there just because there's so many citizens. So
Yeah,
that many
straight numbers
bodies,
game.
you're gonna have that many sex. Makes sense. But
got-
Brazil,
Yeah.
I guess they're really sexually active there too, which makes sense.
Greece, I saw for sure. Greece, I'm like, yeah, there's got to be top 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what's the next card next weekend? Who's fighting next
It
weekend?
is Tyron Woodley and
Oh baby, we got some
Colby
great
Covington.
fights next weekend,
a
and it's
card
a
and a
fight
half.
night card too. It is a fight night card.
Shout out to ESPN Plus.
Let's just get right into it. Okay, so top to bottom, here we go. Covington Woodley fight night. We got Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley, great fight. Cowboys fighting, great. Cowboys fighting Nico
Cowboys on the
Price,
card.
great fight.
Every single one of these bouts I'm excited for.
Holy shit, the whole card's stacked for a fight
Kenzie
night.
Dern.
Will Kamzat, Chimaev meet the brick wall. I think there's a chance that he might run into something he hasn't seen yet.
That's true. So let's just get right into it for the main event. Colby Covington versus Woodley. What do you think? What do you think about Colby Covington not really talking shit this time around? It's crazy.
I think he's taking
It's
it
crazy
serious
for him.
now.
He's taking it serious, and he's just buckling down and sticking to his training.
They've trained together so that they know what each one's going to bring.
Tyron Woodley is sticking his head down too and training with Colby Covington's old partner, Masvidal. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
He was been training with him. Yeah, that's pretty funny that he's doing that. I don't think Jorge Masvidal is gonna imitate Colby Covington, but he can maybe show him some insight to what his game is.
I think Masvidal's entourage is also going to help him with his grappling because I know he has Bo Nickel in his gym.
So that'll help.
Hopefully, they've been rolling around together, and Bo has got a few things to show him.
Honestly, I don't think Woodley's gonna deal well with Colby's pressure. I think Colby's just from the start. He's just gonna pressure him, and he's going to. I think Colby's just gonna pressure him, and Tyron Woodley's not gonna know what to do about the pressure. He's not gonna have a response for it.
He's
you
going to
know?
have to be a completely different fighter from the last 3 times he's fought. Because the last few times that I've seen him fight, he has not been what I've known to be as Tyron Woodley.
He's been waiting too much and just afraid to pull the trigger. And
Recipe for disaster.
he was in a couple of recent interviews. He said he's not going to wait around. He's just going to go out there for blood.
So look out for an early TKO.
We're hoping, we're rooting for Woodley, but I really think Colby Covington's going to bring it to him.
Yep.
I think Woodley should knock the block off of him, but I don't think he's going to be able to this late in his career.
It took Usman 5 rounds to TKO. So I'm not sure Woodley's
That's true.
gonna have.
That's true.
I mean, maybe Woodley be able to surprise him with the old boom, 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 the forward.
Yeah, the rushes. The rushes.
Which he can, he's the man. But
He could always do that. He could surprise us. But we'll see where he's at right now in his career. This will make or break him this late in his career. Covington, though, say what you want about the man. We all hate him. We all hate his antics, but
I don't hate him.
I don't like his antics.
I know he's trying to put on a show. He's getting his name out there. That's what he has to do. That's what we have to do sometimes.
He's playing the heel. But so we'll see. I'm curious about that fight. I think Colby should win that one pretty directly. Donald Cerrone's coming back versus Nico Price. Cowboy, he's going to give it old cowboy try, but he's looking pretty old as well.
Just had another kid
Oh, he had
Another
another
boy.
kid.
Oh
Great.
boy, that's not
with
good.
another crazy name. I
Oh,
think it
wow.
was like Riot or Rage or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's a crazy name for a boy. That's
They
all I
gotta be
know.
fighters.
Growing up
Wow.
on a ranch.
Price is gonna be rocking the man bun from what I can see.
Yeah, Nico Price is a orthodox fighter.
But Cerrone is, as at this point, a gatekeeper. So we're gonna
Yep.
see if he can hold it or not.
Nico Price has a decent record, 14-4. So we'll see what he's about.
He's a good fighter. Both are
If he can
American
finish
fighters.
him,
good.
that'll put him to the top of the heap pretty quick. And then we got our boy Kazamat Chayev. I don't know how to say his name correctly.
Every single one of Khamzat Chimaev's fights, he's been going out there and smashing his opponents early. But I think in this one, he's going to come up against an old veteran who's going to be able to scramble a little bit more, take those punches, and make it into more of a grappling match. With Khamzat, will be able to take, but I don't think he's going to be ready for the submissions.
So, Chayev, how do you say his name?
I don't really know, but Chimaev?
Kamaev. Okay, yeah. It looks like Chimaev,
Yeah.
but it's Kamaev. Okay, so Kamaev is a perfect 8-0, and he's fighting out of the same camp that Gustafsson fights out of, which is pretty impressive.
He fights often.
So he said that he wants to fight everybody back to back to back to back to back. That man wants to stay active, and we love his heart. Dana White usually doesn't do this for people. He's like, slow down, slow down. You'll get one fight, and then we'll see how you do with that, and then we'll take you to the next. So I'm curious to see if he finishes this. I don't know how to say this guy's last name either. If he finishes this fight soon, that'll be impressive.
Mershart,
You know?
something like that. If Mershart can prolong the fight,
Yeah.
last, more than 4 minutes into the first round, I think that's going to be different because Chimaev is
Mershart
not-
said he wanted to play spoiler too, because he's like, "Oh, you're lining up another fight before, like right after me? That's disrespectful."
You're gonna run through them.
But so the weight, what is this weight fight at? Because
170.
Mershart usually fights at 205, which is weird.
So he's cutting down. I think Chimaev's going to bite off a little bit more than he can chew, unless
He's cutting down to 170.
he switches up his coaching and they get a little bit more of submission into their
Well, I'm a fan,
clinics.
so I want greatness, so
Huge
I'm gonna
fan.
be rooting for Chimaev.
Huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, my money's on Chimaev, unfortunately.
And our boy Johnny Walker's fighting too.
Johnny Walker should come out with another win against Spawn. Both 205. Johnny Walker's got a 3-inch reach advantage. with
Both
82.
giants. Johnny Walker's 6'6", and Spawn is 6'5". So yeah, this should be a good fight. They should be throwing all the breaks for this one. This would be straight striking.
Johnny Walker, very
Hopefully.
exciting.
As long as he doesn't do the worm and pop his shoulder out over
Hopefully he doesn't do the worm and pop his shoulder out.
Yeah.
it. Should warm up those shoulders, Johnny. Warm them up. You got this.
Yep. So let's see how that one goes. Mackenzie Dern also is fighting on the same card.
Oh shoot.
Our Bay.
Be a good
She
fight.
just had a kid recently as well. So is this her first fight after her kid?
I think she
Or did
had
she-
a fight before.
Okay, this is her second
I
fight
don't know
after
if she
that.
won that fight though.
I don't think she did either. She didn't win that fight, yeah.
I don't know.
So she's fighting the Canadian. So this will be a good fight for her to get back on track. So, yeah, hopefully she goes out there and just submits her. Uses that good old Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mackenzie Dern, her dad was a Gracie. Was one of the Gracies.
I know that.
Yep.
Megaton Diaz.
Oh, is that what his name
Is
is?
that his name? That's his name.
Wasn't he a Gracie, though?
He trained under Gracie.
Oh, he trained under Gracie.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just a little misinformed.
Marcos is 8-9-1. So the record's not looking great.
Yeah.
She lost to Ribas and Claudia Gadala, right?
Both very good Brazilians.
Yep.
So she's not a bad fighter, but we'll see how she goes up against
Fighting
them.
all Brazilians though. Claudia,
Yeah.
Ribas, and Mackenzie.
Brazilians in women's MMA especially, like, they're popping.
Yep.
They're popping.
It's nice to see the submissions. Love the submissions.
So that's the notable fights for the next card. Betting wise, I'm gonna have to look at these odds. I'd probably put some money on Nico Price, Colby Covington,
Colby.
even though I want Woodley to win. Chimaev, but the odds are probably really bad for him. Johnny Walker, Mackenzie Dern. Let's see these odds, Nick. We'll look at the odds real quick and pull them up for you guys. The odds are probably pretty decent.
Either way, you want to bet on the man who's going to win, no matter what the odds are. So go down the list. I'd say Price, Covington, Chimaev. Hopefully he can make it. Walker, Dern. I'll take Stewart.
So I do like underdogs if you're trying to make some money. But we're going to take, Colby Covington is a really heavy favorite.
Makes sense.
So
That makes sense.
And I bet on Kobe.
But why is this? What book is? Oh, that was the opening. The opening line had Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley as a favorite, but the current line is over here.
Wow, that's weird.
So Tyron is a huge underdog. So you're not going to make much money off Colby. Mackenzie Dern also minus 200. Not going to make much money off her. Where's Chiaev? Weird.
It's important to note, I'm sure that we're going to have some surprise in this card because it never goes how we think it is. So
That's always a fact. Whoever you think's going to win, it usually doesn't go that way. It's the MMA game. It's fighting.
if you can get good odds with Kamaev, I think that might be a good bet.
Do
to
they
bet on
not
Mercer.
have the odds on the site? It's weird. You would think they would have the odds on the ESPN site.
I'm on ESPN? Step it up.
Have we talked about
Yeah, they don't have the odds.
most of the card so far? The next card?
Oh, the big one?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can wait
the
till next
big
week
one?
for that.
No, I mean the one we're talking about now. Did we finish talking about that one?
Yeah, pretty much. There's not really much notable. Those are
Okay.
the top four, unless you want to talk about something else.
There's going to be a lot of guys in the prelims that are going to want to fight. But
Yeah, for sure. Prelim fights are always great. You can't count out the prelim guys because they want to make it to the main card, you know? I'm going to look up these odds real quick.
Everybody excited about Nick Diaz's return, possibly?
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm very
He looked
excited.
really good. His weight cut looked pretty seamlessly for him. How long was did he do it for?
It was a 4-month diet.
4-month diet.
Yeah.
That's not that long. That's not too bad.
You know, I don't think he's going to disappoint. The more I think about it, I think that whoever he fights, he's going to go out there swinging. Hopefully, he doesn't fight.
Who do you
anyone.
guys have him? Who do you think he should fight?
A nobody first.
A nobody?
I would say
It's Nick
Wonder
Diaz. He will
Boy.
never fight a nobody. He will never fight a nobody anymore. That's not how it works in MMA. It's not like boxing where you get a warm-up fight. You get put back into it. When you're a name, you're a name. You always get a name back
Yeah.
once you're a name.
Darren
Wonder
Till
Boy.
called him out.
Wonder Boy would be a great fight.
Darren Till called him out.
Darren Till called him out.
Yeah.
Darren Till
Darren
also.
Till would call him out.
Who is fighting at 185?
He's not. He would never fight him,
Yeah.
He would never fight him.
Unless Nick wants to go up to 185.
which he cut down. So
yeah,
that's
so cutting
kind
down.
of obsolete.
And then Darren calling him out.
Yeah,
Makes no sense.
makes no sense. He's just everyone called him out. Did you
Yeah.
see what's his name? Mike Perry even called him out. He said,
Oh, Mike
"Fuck the
Perry?
Diaz brothers."
Yeah, Mike Perry would not beat him.
Fuck the Diaz
He
brothers.
barely beat Mickey Gall. Well, I mean, beat him, but
I would have Mike Perry in that
didn't
fight.
knock him out.
Yeah, I would also.
I would take Mike Perry against
Mike
Nick
Perry's a
Diaz.
crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, he
As
is.
long as he doesn't get submitted, I think he'd be fine.
He stays
He's
out
not
of
gonna
trouble.
tap. Yeah, as long as he stays out of
Yeah.
trouble. Stops punching old men after he drinks. Don't tell Mike I said that.
Well, that guy
I
brought it
love
to
you,
him.
Mike.
Oh, so Chimaev is a heavy favorite. So I wouldn't even put money on him, guys. Minus 500. Wow. So I honestly,
Put money on the other guy
you might put
Put
plus
money on
three
the other guy.
plus 360. I would
Yeah,
put money
don't
on the
listen
other
to us.
guy.
because
He's playing spoiler.
Yep.
Listen to the people.
Johnny Walker though is a good bet. It's minus 132. So I would definitely put money on Johnny Walker. Mackenzie Dern, put money on her.
Yeah, her definitely.
Nico Price, put money on
But
him.
Nico,
And I would say Colby
Colby.
Covington, but you're not going to make much money off him. So let's go. Nico Price, Mackenzie Dern, and Johnny Walker is our best bets, guys.
yep.
So
Got those.
we're probably going to put some money on them, you know? See what we got. Those are the favorites, though. You don't make much money off favorites. You got to take chances. And in the MMA game, you always take chances. So Chimaev should win, but he's facing a good old veteran, so you never know with that. You never know.
It's like Ed Herman said, never count out the old man.
So yeah, those are our top bets.
Who's John Jones going to fight first? And when?
I think John Jones is waiting for the Stipe Francis Ngannou fight. He's going to get the winner of that.
You don't think he's gonna have a warm up? You think he's just gonna go right to the gym?
No, he's not going to get a warm up. Again, there's no warm ups in MMA.
And Jones might lose.
Jones is not going to lose. Jones is the GOAT.
I can't wait to see how big he gets. It's gonna get real big.
I think he's not going to get that big, guys. I think he'll get to 240 maybe, 230. But he should be on all the picograms right now,
Yeah,
and he should be getting up.
I have
getting up there.
money on he's gonna test hot after the fight. So if anyone wants to take that,
I would say
That's a great bet. That's a great bet.
might.
It's a great bet. He should be, secretly doing something right now.
that's probably not even a secret. USADA's just giving up on it at that point. What are they gonna do?
Fight.
So there's a fight that's not happening now.
Yeah, there's a fight that's off, which I'm very sad about.
The Diamond Dustin Poirier versus the Boogeyman Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, so what happened there?
I think it comes down to one thing.
Money talks.
Money talks. Yeah, Poirier, the top 5 fighters should get paid. So what do you think Poirier was asking for? A mil, probably? They didn't want to give him a mil?
I feel like.
He's worth a mil.
He's the Diamond's worth a mil minimum. Pay the man. Everyone wanted to see that fight. Come on. The co-main event, that would have been sick. So yeah, Ferguson versus Poirier got canceled, but Dana White did confirm that they're trying to make another fight for Ferguson.
Ferguson wants to fight. He always wants
So
to fight.
who do you think they're gonna line him up with, guys?
You said Connor. I agree with that.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Connor versus Ferguson.
They're trying to work that out, I'm sure.
You need to get Connor out of jail.
As long as he's fine.
Connor would be a great fight. Who else in lightweight would they put? Who's the top lightweights right
know
now?
what?
You know,
Nick Diaz should just get out there. Fight the Boogeyman right off the bat.
he's not 155. Should be be a catchweight.
Yeah, meet in the middle somewhere. Who wants to see the fight?
Dan Hooker's up there.
Ooh, that would
Dan
be
Hooker
that would be a
lost
good
to
fight.
Dustin.
Yeah, that would be a good fight too.
Dan Hooker's waiting.
versus
Tony Ferguson.
Ferguson.
That'd be great.
Make the fight happen. We've decided. That's
Yes.
it.
Give him somebody.
You have him? I don't know. We're gonna look at the rankings right now and see. I think it should definitely be a top 5 guy, but who hasn't fought recently that we would like to see? You know, we got. Let's see about this. We have Conor McGregor would be a great fight. Charles Oliveira, Paul Felder. There's not really that many fights that we could make for Tony Ferguson, you know.
Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee, but I think he would
Still
just
in the
knock the
rankings.
brakes off of him. I think, yeah, Conor. They're probably thinking Conor. Realistically,
Connor needs the win to stay relevant too, because he's kind of.
Conor needs to come back and beat Tony Ferguson, and Tony Ferguson would be down for that.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about 2 killers, Charles Oliveira would be a
Yes.
good fight.
Charles
Dark
Oliveira,
horse.
but he's not a name.
Nobody talks about
No, he's not a name exactly. They want a name. Maybe not though. Maybe not. That'd be a great fight.
I think he's a name.
He's a name.
The cowboy. He's a killer, man.
Okay, he's not the cowboy.
No, it's the other Brazilian.
Oh,
there's
I
two.
fucked
There's
up.
2 of them.
I fucked up.
The one's the
Charles
Brazilian
Oliveira
cowboy.
is Du Bronx.
The Bronx.
It's a weird nickname. All right, so yeah, let's see this guy fight. He
Lot of
looks
triangles.
he looks kind of like Tony
A lot of
Ferguson.
triangle chokes.
Yeah. Let's see that fight then. That's the fight to make. Either Charles Oliveira or McGregor.
McGregor. Yep.
Too bad they didn't pay him.
The money fight is McGregor Ferguson.
Yes. Yes.
The money talks and money follows, so I think that's probably
And
what we'll do.
McGregor said already he wanted to fight him before, you know?
McGregor says a lot of crap.
I know. He does. You can never really... You always got to take what he's saying with a grain of salt.
Who the fuck is that guy?
No one knows. No one knows.
Shout out to Connor's lawyer.
I
Get him
know.
off. Get him off so we can get him back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay out the judge.
Paul Felder is still in the rankings. Is he still an active fighter? Or is
Yeah,
he just started
yeah.
announcing?
No, he's active.
He's a great announcer, too.
He's a great announcer.
Yeah.
Paul Felder is close to my heart. Hopefully he wins his next one.
Dan Hooker would also be a great fight, guys. You're right. It goes... So the top 2 guys for Ferguson would be Conor McGregor and Dan Hooker. So hopefully they make one of those fights.
It should be Connor. But then again, Connor and Hooker would also be really, if Connor gets out there, that's where the money follows. So get him back in there.
Get him in there. You know how the UFC runs. It's always spur of the moment with fights. It's week to week. So we'll update you with that next week. I'm sure it'll be breaking news sometime this week about that fight. So we'll update you. Come back here next week for all your MMA news and Octagon updates. Peace. Oh, thanks for watching, guys. If you want to support the channel, comment below, like, and subscribe. We come in weekly for you, and we'd love to hear from you.
Keep grinding out there.
Get your bets in, guys, and hopefully you make some money, because I think we will. I think we will with those 3 bets. That concludes it for another Octagon update. We're out.